Yeah, I know I always discuss a lot about economics and actually silver, but and I have a few videos or more than a few videos out on prepping and survival things and whatever, you know, in case there's a catastrophic problem or something that comes up. But hey, I want to put something out here that's real practical, like nobody really talks about too much. You know, if there ever was a collapse in the dollar, I don't think there's going to be a collapse, but say there was this problem where money wasn't available, there's one thing that you got to go by: what's traded for money. Anything could be function as money, right? You know, actually cigarettes can function as money. Toilet paper could function as money too. You know what actually functions as money? Booze and beer, wine and vodka. And you know, I should have thought of this because actually I commented on it a while back, I think, on another video. Actually, my dad, he used to manage a liquor store, and he wasn't the owner, but he was basically the guy that was there all the time. And no matter what, people got to have that product. That's a product that, when there's a depression, there's actually more sales of liquor. It's weird. And if there's ever a currency crisis, you know, I don't think this is going to happen, but say the dollar went to like really bad down, that booze would still be worth a lot of money. People would want it. It would be worth something big time. And you know, it was kind of, I don't want to say exactly, it was up in New Jersey, but actually that road it was on where he was at, it used to be in the Guinness World Book of Records for having the most amount of bars in 1 mile stretch up in New Jersey. It was actually, it's not listed there anymore, but there's still a hell of a lot of bars, and it's not the same name, but the place is still actually sells liquor. But you know, it was basically, you know, that place was basically feeding all the bars around here too with deliveries, and the vehicle of choice, you know, for prepping. I'll tell you one thing. You know, I got some old cars, but you know, one car I kind of wish I kept was the old VW Bug. But one that probably is even better is the VW Bus. The air-cooled one with the engine in the rear that puts out about 40 horsepower, that was the one you want. And because that was the thing that was always used to deliver the beer and all the booze. Mostly beer. That thing was loaded down with beer all the time, feeding all those bars along that strip down here all the time, running a brisk business. And needless to say, my dad had a really, really cool bar at home. But you know, he was a stand-up guy. I mean, he used to be an MP in the military during the Korean War and also in Germany after, you know, World War II at that time. And you know, he was always in tight with law enforcement, and he stopped more than one robbery at that place because, you know, he's a real nice guy, but I mean, you know, he wouldn't want to let nobody rob the place and shit like that. But just want to put this out here because, you know, that's one activity that no matter what, they can make it illegal all they want. Because look what happened during Prohibition. You know, some do-gooders try to make whiskey illegal or manufacture and sale of whiskey illegal, right? What happened? You know, that's what happened. You know, people wanted it. There was an underground that provided it. If the whole economy went down, actually, even during times of depression and severe recession, liquor sales go up. So, you know, a lot of people are thinking about silver. Silver's a good thing, but it's not the only thing. And, you know, you probably should be stacking beer. Don't drink it now. Wine can age. You got a wine cellar. That stuff can be worth it could be like liquid gold. It could be like liquid gold because it's never going to go out. I mean, I don't care, you know, what happened. And, you know, they talk about, you know, they're pissing off the establishment today with the Tea Party. Well, we can have the Whiskey Rebellion. You know, after George Washington had to put down a Whiskey Rebellion because they had taxes, he had to collect taxes and stuff like that, and then they didn't have money. They wanted to pay the taxes in whiskey, so they had the Whiskey Rebellion. But, you know, thinking outside the box, think about it. You know, maybe people getting tired of freaking stacking coins. Maybe it's time to stack vodka whiskey, beer, wine, gin, whatever. You know, just stack it up and actually maybe get yourself set up to start your own brewery, because, you know, maybe you're not supposed to do that, but if it's a collapse situation, I don't know, maybe you might get back into mode again, you know. I guess as long as they can tax it, they make it legal. That's what comes down to. And actually, you know, a lot of times things that came about from, the supposed crooks that supply the needs of people that they want to have, that they outlaw, like, liquor was one of them. I talked about, the VW bus was the big transporter of all the beer and stuff. I forgot about that damn thing, man. Man, I used to use the hell out of that damn thing. That was a beer truck. I mean, it was like delivering all the time, you know. And actually, the bar that we had downstairs, man, that was decked out with every freaking, type of thing there is. You know, as a matter of fact, I got gazillions of these beer mugs left over from, those times. But the bar was really decked out that we had in the house, because it had every single freaking type of sign out there for every kind of liquor there was in beer. But during the time of Prohibition, people wanted that stuff anyway. I mean, it's like instant cash, instant money. You could trade it for anything. And, an interesting story, like, the demand for it was so high that they always found ways to get it to the people. And, one of the things they used to do was the rum runners. They used to run these boats down in the Mississippi Delta flats. And what it turned out to be was, that turned out to be the amphibious landing craft that was used by the Marine Corps in World War II. It was an interesting story, because this all comes about from booze. It's supposed to be a silver update, but, I want people to think outside the box. It came about, the boat that actually was the Marine Corps used actually came about from the rum runners for the amphibious landings that was in the island hopping campaign during World War II. The Navy, the Bureau of Navy Shipbuilding, they were working on this ship to do amphibious landings for 10 years. And the damn thing was like a piece of shit that they came up with, straight language, piece of junk that came up in, that they were coming up with in the Bureau of Naval Shipbuilding in the 30s. And they worked on it for 10 years. Well, the guy that was building them for the rum runners, and his name was Higgins, he put together a boat, not even from plans. He had his guys working around the clock. I think it was in 72 hours. He put a boat together, and it outperformed the Navy's boat they worked on for 10 years. Hands down, no problem. The Navy boat almost freaking sunk, and, in rough waters. And this one just performed flawlessly. Ran back to the shore and up and back, and it just had to modify the size so it fit in the ships. But, the reason it was around was because they had to get the freaking goods to people, which was booze. So, you start thinking about it, that's one item that people aren't going to do without. If there's ever a collapse, or if anything, I don't think there's going to be a collapse. But even if there's a Great Depression that's worse than the Great Depression in the 30s, they're never going to do without it. The actual sales of alcohol is going to go up. So if you want to protect your money, you probably should put some money into actual physical booze. And don't drink it. Store it up. Wine. Got wine in a wine cellar. Vodka, beer. And, during the time of, if there's this big calamity that happens, that stuff will be worth more than silver, probably. It may really be that way, because somebody, and you notice, a lot of people that are like, people that do jobs on the side and stuff like that, they might, trim trees and stuff for a freaking, case of beer or something like that, whereas if they were working for, an actual company, they'd have to charge a couple $100 or something. A lot of times, you can actually exchange a case of beer for a lot of labor. And it's just one thing that never goes down. No matter what, if the economy gets worse, liquor sales go up. Because I should have recalled this, because my dad was he was like the manager for this place for like 20 years, man. He was like the fixture over there. And that was on, like I said, that was on the street in New Jersey. That had the it doesn't today, because I looked it up, but it used to say it was in the Guinness World Book of Records for having the most bars in 1 mile stretch in the world. And I remember that VW bus the guy had, which I think he had a couple of them over 20 years, man. Used the hell out of those damn things, man. That was a beer truck, man. That was the ultra reliable beer truck, man. So if you ever want a vehicle that's ultra reliable and carry a lot of crap for the Mad Max times, I don't think we're going into this, but say we did, you want a VW bus, economical, air cooled, rear engine, no electronics, none of that kind of junk like that, and it gets you anywhere you want to go. So a lot of times people are looking for things to invest money in. Hey, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to just have silver. And, the big temptation would be, if you're a drinker, if you want to store up the stuff, you probably would want to drink it yourself, That would be the problem. I guess that would be a better investment for people that are non-drinkers. But on the other side, if you want to get into making your own, brewing your own beer, that might be a hell of a livelihood in a collapse situation. Because, say for instance, transportation's down or whatever the hell it is, and, the big companies can't get the beer from Milwaukee, whatever, and you got your own local home brewery over here. That might be the deal for, the collapse situation. You'll be surviving on your own. And, who the hell knows? Maybe that's got a lot of health benefits to it, too, because I've actually heard that the hops in the beer actually do have a lot of health benefits. They do. So, that's an excuse for people who like to drink that stuff a lot. I don't drink. I used to drink, when I was like 17, 18, 19, 20. When it was new to me, I used to drink my ass off. But, I don't know, you just get tired of this shit. I don't even drink anything anymore. But I do realize the money angle is there. The money angle is there. It don't matter how bad. The worse the economy gets, the more alcohol sells. So you might want to stack up on some of that stuff. And if you need a big transportation vehicle for it, the old VW bus, man, that might be the deal, I mean, actually, to tell you the truth, I'd rather have if I could trade my El Camino out with a VW carryall. They had the canvas cover that was kind of like a pickup truck. I'd probably rather have one of those damn things, to tell you the truth, because that would be the survival vehicle for the future, man. It carries a lot of crap. It goes through just about anything out there. And, I just remember that because, man, my dad, man, he used to freaking, that truck was loaded up pretty much every day doing deliveries, man. And because of that road, that one road had like a gazillion bars on it. And that was the main liquor store that was supplying all the supplies. And, they'd run out of booze because all the heavy drinkers, and they have to have emergency order, and they come down and get, man, there's some cool shit, to tell you the truth, man. But just think about it. Just think about it. No matter if the economy goes sour, booze never goes out. The Great Depression during the 1930s, you had Prohibition. Well, I mean, Prohibition ended in the 1930s, but still it was there for a little bit, even from like 29 and, the early 30s. And the Prohibition was going on. There was a big depression going on. People out of work. Still a big, big demand for booze. So that's one way to protect your money. And, even if you look back to the collapse in Argentina, the collapse in Russia, booze protected your money. Just don't drink up the profits, like they used to say. Don't drink up the profits anyway. Over and out, I figured I'd throw you another angle out here because I just thought of that, and I says, man, that is the right way. That is the right approach. Trouble is, the stuff is bulky. But, like I says, you don't put everything in one area. You physically save goods for the future, And I don't think too many people are thinking of this, about, the booze, the beer, the wine. And, if you're really smart, you should learn how to make a brewery. Like right now, it wouldn't be legal. But, if there's a collapse, it probably would be. It probably would be legal. And it'd be a local market, right? It's not available. I guarantee the demand's going to be there. So that's a hell of a thing to look into, I think. And nobody's telling you about it. So you heard it from me. Anyway, over and out.